So tell me, you're launching the book at Pinewood, is this right?
Well, we've got a James Bond showing of Licence to Kill. It's the 30th anniversary. So I'm going to go along there and do a book signing. Because, there's a lot of Bond fans I think will enjoy the book. And, the book comes out on Amazon this month. And... hopefully people would enjoy it.
Well, honestly, I mean, I can't tell you, it's certainly my era. I was saying, you've got all the posters at the back. They're all beautiful colour represent. And you're just thinking about it's movies you've forgotten or movies you kind of think, what were the special effects in that? Really like sweet romantic films. You kind of think, really? But there must have been, I guess, an explosion or a car crash or something.
Well, there's so many different things. I mean, I did Family Man with Nick Cage, and all the effects were really snow and rain and rudimentary things like that. But then, between films like The Omen and A Bridge Too Far or Starship Troopers, it's such a wide variety of effects. It does show quite the extent to which our work, covers all the different things.
Listen, I'm sure people are shouting at the radio thinking, ask him about blah, blah, blah. So we'll go to listeners' questions after this. But right now, just to remind everyone, my guest is John Richardson. His book, Making Movie Magic, out now, published at the History Press with a foreword by the film director Richard Donner. More chat after your song choice. What have you chosen and why?
I've chosen Rita Coolidge singing All Time High. It's from Octopussy, one of my favourite Bond movies, and I've just always loved it.
All I wanted was a sweet distraction for an hour or two. Had no intention to do the things we've done. Funny how it always goes with love. When you don't look, you find. But then we're two of a kind. We move as one. We're an all-time high. We'll change all that's gone before, doing so much more than falling in love on an all-time high. We'll take on the world and win. So hold on tight, let the flight begin. I don't want to waste a waking moment. I don't want to sleep. I'm in so strong and so deep, and so are you. In my time I've said these words before, but now I realize my heart was telling me lies. For you they're true. We're an all-time high. We'll change all that's gone before, doing so much more than falling in love on an all-time high. We'll take on the world and win. So hold on tight, let the flight begin. So hold on tight, let the flight begin. We're an all-time
Was it? I'm told John Barry wrote the music to that. But we know Tim Rice wrote the lyrics to All Time High because he couldn't fit Octopussy into the lyric. Did he get it in? No, he didn't. Rita Coolidge, The All-Time High, which was the theme for Octopussy, where all the special effects were done by my guest, John Richardson. His book, Making Movie Magic, is out now, published by the History Press. Now, I've just got to find the listeners' questions for you. Oh, here they are. Okay, here we go. So, John, you're still with us? Yeah.
I am indeed.
As I ramble and search for questions. Here we go. Jack from Leicester. You worked with Lionel Jeffries on The Railway Children. I love that movie. What effects did you have to create? And did you do the moving trees bit?
Yeah, that was the main task I had on the film. And in fact, it was the only task. We did the moving trees going down the bank and then created a landfall that blocked the railway line. And that was a special effects rig, and we triggered it with high explosive to make it fall down. But Lionel was a great director to work with. He was fun.
Yeah, and I guess that was it was a real train. So
it was a real train and real.
Paul from Redcar. Did Lou Grade really say it would have been cheaper to lower the Atlantic instead of raising the Titanic? Why was that film such a hurdle to complete?
I think it was a bit of a disaster waiting to happen from the get-go. I don't think it was particularly well cast at the top, and they took all this stuff out to Malta from California. I mean, they shipped so much equipment out there. It just, I think, got a little bit out of hand budget-wise. But we were shooting underwater out there for 6 months, and I was spending 6 hours a day underwater filming all the model stuff. It was hard work.
Have you ever done a film where the plug has been pulled? Someone's gone, actually, let's not throw any more money after this. Let's just bail.
I've been on a few where the plug's been pulled before we've started. But I don't think I've ever been on one where it was pulled halfway through.
Because you just kind of think, that's crazy, that someone kept going, okay, here's more money.
Yeah, I mean, it was back in the 70s, and I think Grade was trying to make, this big blockbuster for Marble Arch. And the comment, actually, that it would have been cheaper to lower the Atlantic was one of mine, and it got sideways.
Why, that's why you've written a book. Now, Chloe from Birdie, we haven't talked about this. Chloe is taking her kids to see the Harry Potter studio tour next month. So did you put that tour together?
Well, I worked on all of the special effects things that are now in the tour, because everything that's in there is in reality everything that we used on the film.
Like the floating candles in the Great Hall.
The floating candles and the... there's so much of it. All the motorbike rigs, all the flying broomstick rigs, everything we built on the movies. At the end of the movies, we had to rebuild it because we only build things to last for 3 weeks on a film set. Yeah. And now it's been running for 5 years, 24/7. So it was an engineering experience, shall we say.
And also because things, as you say, they're not built to last, so they look a bit rough around the edges. Even if you go on a film set, they look a bit, they don't bear close inspection. So do you have to,
Well, I think that's part of the charm, because now the public can see what we actually do, and the fact that the door looks great on the front but there's no back to it. So all of those things, it informs everybody, I think, how movies are made, as well as seeing the magic of Harry Potter and what we did.
Zach and Margaret is asking about films you've appeared in. Do you appear in many of the films, or
no? When I was 14 years old, I was working with my father on Exodus. I'd gone out there in school holidays, directed by Otto Preminger, starring Paul Newman, and I was given a small part as a kibbutz guard in the film, and I had to march up and down with a rifle on my shoulder, directed by Otto. That firmly decided me never ever to stand on that side of the camera again.
But you were a Vestal Virgin.
I was a Vestal Virgin. That was doing a stunt on... funny thing happened on the way to the Forum.
Sorry.
And two people had to jump out of a window, one being Phil Silvers. So I ended up doubling for Phil Silvers, dressed as a Vestal Virgin, leaping out of a high window.
Happy days. Jenny in Plymouth, what souvenirs have you kept over the years, and do you have a favourite?
Very few, sadly. Back in the day, we never really realised the value of the things that we built.
Because some of the models, you must look at those pictures and think, oh, why didn't I keep that?
It all goes in a skip, and most of the models are too big to keep
I
as well.
suppose, yeah. Your garden with the neighbours might talk.
Well, we built a frigate for a Bond movie. It was 55 feet long and weighed 8 tons, I think. So,
yeah.
They're a bit too big to store.
Very good question, Oliver and Flint. Where do you keep your Oscar?
It's on the bookshelf in the living room. It's not propping open the lavatory door.
And is it one of those, does everyone who visits you want to hold it?
Everybody wants their picture taken with it.
And apparently human sweat really takes the shine off it,
I've had to get it re-gilded once because of that.
Yeah. So now do you stop people, or maybe they have to wear white gloves?
Just polish it afterwards.
Yeah, John is so precious about that Oscar. Now, Jacob in Ashford, I don't know if there's an answer to this. What's been the best kind of botched job or rushed improvisation you've had to do while filming? You're in the middle of something and suddenly we've got to do something.
I was on a film called Lucky Lady. Burt Reynolds, Liza Minnelli, Gene Hackman. We were filming in Mexico, and the second unit director said to me, it'd be great tomorrow if we could have a guy driving along in a boat, an explosion blows the boat in half, and he carries on in the back half with the outboard. And we did it for the next morning. He couldn't believe that we'd actually managed to do it.
Yeah.
But, it's just one of those things that you strike lucky and get it done.
Yeah. Elliot from Worcester, just one final question. Who was the easiest director you had to work with? And, I mean, how is the director your go-to guy, or is it kind of producers saying, don't attempt that because it's too expensive?
The producer often says, don't do that. My first allegiance is always to the director. He's the man in charge. He's the guy I want to please. Sometimes there's a little bit of weaving, shall we say, in and out of that. But I work with so many directors, people like Billy Wilder, who was wonderful, but Dick Donner, who I did The Omen with, Superman and Ladyhawke, he drew more out of me than I knew I had inside me.
Yeah.
And he was great fun to work with, a lovely character.
And of course, he's done the foreword to the book.
Yeah, and a very nice one too.
And by the way, have you done DVD commentaries and things?
Yeah, I've done a lot for Potter, for Bond.
Yeah.
I tend not to listen to them anymore than I have to.
Listen, we've got to stop, but I could talk to you all day. John Richardson, his book is called Making Movie Magic. It's out now, and it's not just lots of stories, but great visuals and, pictures you haven't seen from backstage and things. It's published by the History Press. John, a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me on the show.